I should tell you that we went to the Belgian Congo, West Africa, as missionary builders. And the most important thing we had to do was to build a new school building. What the students had been going to school in was mostly made of palm fronds and what we call thatch. We just take the stuff and mud it together, and so the school wanted a new school, and it was going to be paid for by the government, and we were there to do it, to build this building. It was going to be a big school building because our school was a central school, and we had over 600 students. That meant that the young men came in from all the nearby villages to the school. And so we worked while we were working with the state people to make sure they were satisfied with what we were doing. We also needed to do a few other things, like put a new roof on the hospital, and then I was rather anxious to finish the house that I was going to live in, because the bathtub was in the front yard, and I was just sort of like, let's get this show on the road, boys. The house was small, of course, and it was made of bambara with bricks. That means ant hole dirt. And we did finally get that done, and we got moved from the missionary couple we'd been living with into our own house. Now, we were ready to begin the building. They'd already started digging the foundation, and my first job was to be at the carpenter shop or the lumber yard, whichever one you wanted to call it. It was both and, to get the workers assigned to their work that day, where they were going to work, how many workmen it was going to need, what supplies they needed to get, and give them their time sheets, because they had to be turned in at the end of the day, because if you did more than one task, it had to be assigned to what the time had to be assigned to whatever job you were going to do. Well, we had ordered the concrete from downriver, and we had nearby a really good supply of sand and also a little creek where we could get all the water. And some kind soul sent us 2 brick-making machines. And so we started making bricks. It was going to take a lot of bricks. I can see that building in my brain right now. It was going to take a lot more bricks than was happening. So what are we going to do? So we talked together and decided the only thing that could happen was they had to double the output. Well, we sat the carpenter down and the mason down, who were the 2 foremen, and some of the workmen, and explained to them that in order to do the building, we had to double the output of bricks, cement blocks. And of course, there was sighing and all you can imagine. But I explained to them, and so one of the other missionaries who spoke better than I did, spoke the language better, explained to them that starting Monday, we would no longer be paying a base salary, as we had been doing, but we would be paying by the brick. And it would be so much per brick. So how much money you made was dependent upon yourself, and this is the way it's going to have to be, because we've got to have a lot more bricks, and we don't have any more machines. Okay, we understood. Everybody said, okay, until payday came the next Friday. And then you know what broke loose, because the salaries were not very good. And we explained to them, we told you, it depends on your output. Well, good old American ingenuity, they started to understand they could work faster, they could work more efficiently, they could work better together, and by the time we needed them, we had all the bricks that we needed to build the school. We had everything done except the windows, which were coming from downriver. They were coming up by boat, and the doors. And we were waiting for lumber to construct the doors. And it was time for us to come home. Our time was ended. But I can still see that beautiful building because it had been painted, and it was blackboards were up, and the African people were extremely proud of their new school and what they had done to make it be so. So we got the school done, and I'll tell you just one quick little final thing. When we were getting in the vehicles to leave, to get on the plane at another little village, I heard this singing. And I looked down the road, and here came all 600 plus students singing Amazing Grace in English. Part of what I had done around the edges was to teach them English as I learned Lonkundo, and we used French as the language that we could all work with. And so as they sang Amazing Grace, the third verse, through many toils, works and tears I've already come, but you have led me home. It was a beautiful, beautiful service. And that's what I left with. And so I thank you for listening.